Okay, I'm back from vacation. It's Monday night. It's 1:14 a.m. And I came to work at 1:14 and I booked on and booked in the zone. And it took 2 hours before I became first in zone. But finally, when I was first in zone, I started noticing that cars behind me were disappearing before I was disappearing. In fact, I wasn't getting dispatched, but I was in the zone, and I was the first car in the zone, but not getting dispatched. So I called the office and I said, well, what's going on here? And she said, you should maybe call the owner of the cab and find out if he knows anything why you're not getting dispatched. So I called him and he explained to me that they had this policy that from 3 in the afternoon till 9 in the evening, you could, that the setting was for busy. The busy setting is that the closest car in the zone to the trip gets the call, rather than the car that's been in the zone longest. So if there's another driver who's closer to the call, he's going to get the call and you won't. Which is great, isn't it? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting screwed out of trips here. And it's a dark night. I wonder if it's a new moon. That would explain everything. Or it would explain some of it. Okay. So I called the owner, and yeah, he explained to me that thing about between 3 and 9 it's set on busy, so it's the nearest car rather than the one that's been in the zone longest. And we chatted for half an hour about this. And then I called the office and I told the dispatcher that I think it has something to do with this new policy that they've got going. And she said, oh yeah, that could be it. That would explain why you're not getting any trips. I said, okay, fine. So I started texting another driver and I said, this is crap. It's been 3 hours, I haven't had a trip. He said, me too, yeah, this is bullshit. So then I called the office. He got a call and we were chatting while he was on his way to his call. And it was a no load. The call was so far away that somebody else, the customer got into another cab. And I was still sitting there going, okay, well, what about me? So then my friend there, the other cab driver, says, he says, I have on my tablet. I don't have a tablet. I have this old thing. But he has a tablet in his car, and it does the same thing as this, but it also gives him additional information, as in how many cars there are in other zones and how many calls there are in those zones. Apparently, there was 1 car available in my zone and 2 calls. Why wasn't I getting a call? So I called our office and I said, you got 2 calls in this zone and 1 car available, which is me. Why have I not received one of those 2 calls? Well, she sent me, and then this thing went beep like it just did, and she sent me, she said, I just sent you a call. So I went and did that call. And I said, well, why wasn't I receiving calls before? And she said, because you've been restricted from the zone. And I said, restricted? What is that? So after I did that trip, I went down to the office and the phone rings and says, I've fixed your problem. And I said, oh, what is it? Well, I tell you what, I'm right outside, so I'm going to come in and, oh, police action over there. Wonder what it is. A robbery or something? I don't know. Wow. Anyways, I said, I'm going to come in and I'd really like an explanation. So I went in the office and there she was. She's saying that I just went through your files and found out that your chief's permit is expired. And I said, I got a new one. She said, yeah, but we don't have a copy of that. And I said, well, in the past, when my Chiefs permit was expired, I was unable to log on. I was unable to book a zone. I was unable to get on the system, but here the system's telling me that I'm on and that it's all working and that I'm going through the ranks, through the zone, and I'm first in zone and I'm not receiving a call. And she says, well, that's because you don't have a Chiefs permit. I said, I have it right here. And she said, oh, well, then I got to make a photocopy of it. Well, I made sure I had the Chiefs permit. I always do that. But in the past, when I had the Chiefs permit and they didn't know about it in the office, they would not let me book on, or they would leave me a friendly reminder saying, please bring us a copy of your Chiefs permit. So I lost 3.5 hours at the beginning of my shift. Fortunately, right now, I've got lease and fuel on. It's 1:23 in the morning. I have had worse than that, but this could have been so much better had I had a notification when I first got in the car. It could have been written right on there saying, your Chiefs permit is expired, or if you have a new Chiefs permit, give us a copy. What fun it is coming back from vacation. All the bullshit begins again. I'll let you know how it turned out at the end of the shift. Well, the night was not terrific, but it could have been worse. It was slow though. Even though I only got started at about 10 o'clock, it was slow. I made $60 in the first couple hours. So between 10 and midnight, I made about $60. It was good. And between midnight and 5, I must have made another $40. And then I had 100 on by 5 o'clock. And then in the last 2 hours, between 5 and 7, I made another $60. Or 5 and 6:30. 6:30 I officially pulled the plug, and now I just washed the car, and I have the fan on and the heat on to dry out the mats. And I'm gonna go fuel up and park it. And this was my first night back after vacation. I still maintain that they could have left me a note or a message that they needed a copy of my Chiefs permit. They could have left me such a note. They did so in the past, but this year, for some reason, everything's foobarred. So that's it for the first night, the Monday night of Taxi Vlog. What is it, 523, something like that? Yeah. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow for another onslaught. It is now, what morning is it? Wednesday morning. So we just got through the Thursday night. No, Tuesday night. Tuesday comes before Wednesday, correct? Correct. Okay, so the Tuesday night, came to work, had a call right away. The pace was relaxed but steady. I was doing all right. I had a couple hundred on by, I think it was 2 o'clock, something like that. The morning was slow. I've got about 260 on now. And $50 of that was one from that guy who likes to throw his money around. He called me out of the blue and said he needed a cab. Here's where I am. He described to me where he was. I said, okay, I'll come and find you. So I did that. I went and found him and took him for a $20 fare, and I got 50 for doing that $20 fare. Wonderful. Just wunderbar. And now it's almost 5 o'clock. I've got 1 hour left of my shift. I'm gonna hang out for another half hour, see if I can get another call. Well, maybe 45 minutes. And if I can't get another call, I'll just pull the plug at 5:45, or yeah, 5:45. And then I will go home, and then I will walk to the chiropractor's office, and I will do my exercises on the workout machines so that I can avoid getting more flabby and out of shape than I am already. But I've got a pretty good core strength going, if you consider what weights I'm working with. And I think the week of vacation did me good in that I think I lost a few pounds because I walked up and down that beach a number of times, a couple times a day at least, from one end to the other, and to and from, and all of that. So this is my Wednesday morning update, I suppose. And I'll be back tomorrow to do this again. Well, it's 5:24 in the morning on Thursday. So that means it's just about the end of Wednesday night. Despite the fact that I slept away most of the morning, yes I did, I was asleep much of the morning, from midnight till now, the last 5 hours, I still have $240 on. With the $95 lease. So $240 on with $95 lease, $20 for fuel. At least 120 in my pocket. It's okay. Where else can you make money and sleep away half the shift? Now I'm waking up. Now that the day is beginning, now I'm finally waking up. Anyways, that's another one done. 2 more nights to go and the week is done. And my last Friday will be 2 nights from now. After that, no more Fridays. Life is going to be so much more easy to take because I loathe Fridays. They're too busy, too much stress. I don't need this in my life. Talk to you sooner. Oh, this is the beginning of my last Friday. The Thursday night went okay. It was steady. I did about 300 on a Thursday night. That's all right. With a $110 lease and $20 of fuel, that's a $170 profit. That's okay. Now, I'm going to change my schedule really soon. I'm going to be starting to work Sunday through Thursday rather than Monday through Friday, which is in some ways good because it's going to cost me $60 less on lease a week, and I won't have to put up with the Friday bullshit, the heavy traffic and the rushing and the loud, rowdy kids who are going out drinking or who have already started drinking before they went out. And so this is the beginning of the last Friday. And I'm gonna really enjoy my improved quality of life without having to put up with the stress of Fridays. Yeah. And I'm here, and the owner hasn't arrived yet because his car is parked here, and the taxi is still out on the road. Is that him I hear now? No, it's not. It's okay. I'll let you know how this last Friday went at the end of the shift, if I remember. Yeah. It's 6 a.m. I have $385 on. I worked hard from 6 till 11 or so. And after 11, I had a whole hour of running around and no loads. A whole hour of running around with no party. No loads. Going long distances. Calling, being sent somewhere for a half an hour old call and calling up the customer saying, "Do you still need a taxi?" He says, "Yes, I do." I say, "Okay, I'm on my way." He says, "I'll be outside." Then I'm pulling onto his street and another taxi pulls out of there, I guess, with my customer. And then I got another call just a few around the corner and down the road a little bit. As I'm pulling up towards the house, I see another taxi pulling away. And now the morning was kind of quiet. I had a couple hundred on by midnight. I had 300 on by, I guess, 3 or so. And now I got 385. And that's the end of that. I'm really tired because I had to put up with rushing. The first half of the night it was rushing, but there was traffic in the way between you and where the customer was that you were trying to get. So it was very frustrating and annoying trying to work. At one point I had some kid wanting to play with the radio and fucking around and changing the station. And the girls in the back seat were saying, "Hey, you know, it would be nice if you considered the driver's feelings." And the guy says, he doesn't have to project his feelings on me. All he has to do is drive. I don't care what he feels. And yeah, that was pretty fucking rude. Pretty rude. Now it's Saturday morning. There's no traffic anywhere. This may have been my last Friday ever, because I'm moving on to Sunday through Thursday shift, just because I don't want to deal with these Fridays anymore, with the rushing and the obnoxious people, because people are more obnoxious on Friday. They just are. And traffic is worse. And I'm just exhausted from it. It burns me out every time I do a Friday. Now I'm exhausted when I go into my weekend, and I hope that in the future I won't be quite so exhausted when I go into my weekend. Of course, this week I have a one-day weekend, but you know, in a couple weeks I'll be accustomed to it and have a better quality of life, and I hope that's the way it's going to work. Anyway, I hope yours is better than mine. Have a good morning.